You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
We are live from Dallas, Texas, and if I see that glass-banging guy in person tonight, it's fucking on site. Let's get into it with the lead. I hate that guy.
But you're really
No, I won't. No, I would never get into a real fight.
This is an open carry state.
Yeah, no, I'm probably
He's
just
packing.
gonna. He might
He's
be
packing.
You were saying before you were looking forward to getting a picture of it with him.
Was I?
Yeah,
Yeah?
it's amazing
Doesn't
how
he-
your personality changes so much when you go on camera.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it's the lead. He
It's
turns into a
unbelievable.
different person with the lead. Doesn't he always go to the game with an escort?
I think there are
Tyler,
rumblings about
Doesn't
that.
he brag about how expensive his escorts
Yeah,
are?
the women he
heck?
goes with are so expensive you'd never be able to afford them. That's what he says.
What a brag.
What a weird dude.
Flex.
Anyways, you're all going to be sick of that guy by the end of
yeah.
this series. But game one of the Western Conference Final goes tonight. Welcome in to Oilers Nation Everyday, live from the Sports Closet studio, which we have taken out on the road. We left at 12:45 in the morning, I guess, the old red eye.
45 minutes past midnight.
45 minutes past midnight. That is a good way to put it. We
Quarter to one.
flew to
Yeah.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Hot Atlanta.
Yep, we were there for 95 minutes, somewhere right around there, and we made our way to Dallas, landed about 2 hours ago, and got ourselves here to our studio, to the Sports Closet studio.
Yes.
It is hot as shit.
I just went out for a walk to go grab some delicious pineapple and a very cold coffee, and it is smoldering outside.
Yeah, it is going to be an interesting day to be rocking a big Oilers jersey around for the rest of the afternoon.
I might do it. This might be shorts to the game.
I think I might go
Oh.
shorts to the game too.
Did you bring the jersey?
I am my phase one Dylan Holloway jersey.
Yes.
I brought that. 'Cause
Oh, really?
It has been good. So I'm bringing it to game one.
So I actually have figured out my jersey strategy recently.
Oh, excellent.
So traditionally, I would change my jersey after a loss.
Mhm.
But then they would, against Vancouver, they just won right after, once I changed the jersey. So I started thinking, what if I just change the jersey every game? I don't wait for the loss.
Never
I
let
get
them know
ahead
your
of
next
it.
move.
Exactly. So I have my signed Dustin Penna jersey,
Oh,
and of course my Devon Score jersey. So Dustin Penna tonight.
let's go.
I just go nude, straight nude.
Mm.
I don't, no superstitions or nothing. I just like the straight nude.
I'm going phase one Holloway.
People
It's
in
got
here,
a wine stain on it now.
Oh no.
Well, that was the power of game 6.
the white Holloway jersey.
A little white. I think when the numbers go on, it'll cover it. I haven't watched it yet. I'm also not going to watch it.
Interesting strategy. People commenting on our appearances in here. Jay is stunningly tanned.
Yeah, it is the season. I can tan
And
with the best of
C-Train
them.
says Tyler is built like a stick man, which is
Oh, that's
incredibly
a
rude.
horrible thing to say.
Yeah, that's
I'm going to
terrible.
ban him for that.
No, don't promote him.
I'm going to put him in a timeout. He should learn a lesson.
Stick
5-minute timeout.
Oh,
5-minute timeout for that one. Wow.
I don't agree with that. That's
He was harsh yesterday too, though.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he
I
called
don't-
Rick something on the Oilers Nation radio.
Live
From
stream?
Mia. Yes.
Oh,
as well,
damn.
So none of that.
Damn. All right, gentlemen. Game one of the Western Conference Final tonight. If you remember back to the last time the Oilers were in this situation, it was that absolute shootout in Colorado. Evander Kane opened the scoring, and then it was back and forth. Mike Smith couldn't stop anything. We had the controversial Cale Makar offside call as well. And then, as we obviously know, that series didn't end up going the Oilers' way. But tonight they're looking for a bit of a different fortune. So let's just start with a very simple vibe check here on a Sherwood Ford Giant Game Day edition of the show. How are you feeling heading into tonight?
I'm feeling good. I think the Oilers are being incredibly underestimated for what their abilities are. I think they're
finally.
Yeah, if no kidding.
I think this is a good thing.
I think obviously Dallas is a great team and does deserve to be the favorite, but everyone just seems to think the Oilers are going to get wiped in a series, and I quite frankly don't understand it.
Dallas, and I know there's all those like 5-on-5 numbers and everything that's going out right now showing Oilers number one. But like Dallas is a well-constructed roster,
Totally.
and the emergence of Wyatt Johnston and Stankoven, like Stankoven's our Holloway, right? Like we're now getting like Holloway took a little bit into the playoffs, kind of really. I guess obviously he scored in game, was that 3 there? He scored 2, but he's now becoming our Stankoven. But you gotta look at that roster and be like, no, that's a legit roster, and this is going to be a worthy adversary. They're also the Double Dragon.
The Double Dragon.
They slayed the Golden Knights in round 1.
Yeah.
That was our dragon to slay. They slayed the Avalanche in round 2. That was our dragon to slay. So they are the Double Dragon.
Oh, they're slaying our dragons.
They are the dragons that have slayed the dragons we wanted to slay. So this is a super double dragon that we are now going to slay. So we pull this off.
It's actually
this is a defining moment. This is a brand establishing moment. Connor McDavid putting his stamp on the game of hockey. Took down the Double Dragon, the Super Double Dragon.
I had an idea that might reflect on that, but I think I'm going to think about it for a little bit before I say it.
Ponder away.
I will.
All right, you do that.
So this is what gets me amped up.
Yeah.
I think we have a chance in this series. I firmly do. I think we're probably going to get out of Dallas only with a split.
Okay.
Which is good.
Which is,
Fantastic,
by design,
actually.
fantastic. Yeah. I think game 1, we give it to them. We still have like the fresh kind of hockey legs.
Yeah.
The mental hockey speed because we played the more recent. I think, we're going to get shot out of a cannon here. I think Dallas isn't going to be ready for this version of the Oilers. That's my vibe. That's your vibe, Tyler.
My vibe is,
aside from being exhausted from flying a red eye, that is also my vibe.
Yeah, I'm absolutely drained right now. This is going to be a 1-hour edition of.
That's why I went for a big coffee. I wanted to come and try to be amped up so I can lift you up. I knew.
You knew I needed a spark. Yeah, that's fair. What are my vibes? Again, I think throughout these playoffs, we've seen enough examples of the more rested team coming out flat in game 1. You even look at like Dallas was the least rested team in their series against Colorado. They came out red hot. They were up 3-0 in that game 1 against Colorado. Ultimately, they blew it, so maybe not the best example, but the point is they came out guns a-blazing. You had Boston go out and beat Florida in that round 1. Florida was sitting on their hands for 5-6 days. Boston just coming off an emotional Game 7 win over Toronto, comes out, lays it to them in game 1. So I'm sitting here tonight thinking the Oilers will have, maybe a little bit more positive momentum here coming into this hockey game. So I'm actually very confident. My prediction's a win tonight and a loss on Saturday, but I'm also very aware that if they win tonight, I'm going to be feeling great going into Saturday as well. So it's a good chance to take some pressure off you too. If you lose tonight, then you go into game 2 and all of a sudden you're like, hey, you really kind of got to win this one. Otherwise, you're running out of lives a little bit. You win tonight, you put so much pressure on the Dallas Stars, and I think it's an opportunity you don't want to see them miss.
I feel like the only way you do split is if you win tonight. But having said that, you win tonight, and this is going to sound so obvious, you have a legit chance of getting 2. You might be able to get lucky and just squeeze out from some kind of crazy defensive performance, or Skinner steps up or something like that, where you could eke out the second.
Which they've done 4 times in his playoffs now, that defensive game. I think one other thing.
Game 6 and 7 was...
Yeah.
Obviously, there was something going on with the team. There was something going on with the team in games like 2 or I guess 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Because holy shit, that was a completely different team in 6 and 7.
It felt like they underestimated what Vancouver could do in many ways.
Yeah, a little bit. Like Vancouver hangs around, and we always kind of gave them a chance to think they had a chance, but we also weren't shutting it down like that.
No, we definitely
that was a team that bought in. Like that was a team that obviously was feeling better. They're like, we are not losing this series. We are putting it all on the line. And so for me, that was so refreshing to see, especially going into playing the Super Double Dragon. You can clog up the middle like that. You got Leon blocking shots, Connor blocking shots, just that team commitment to give their best to win. Just like they're showing it. And they have Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Evan Bouchard, and Nuge, and Hyman on the offensive side. Like
And Ekholm
it's
now.
and Ekholm, it's like ugh,
One layer
it's there.
that is not being talked about for
A Dragon's
tonight.
Lair.
A Dragon Slayer, yes. We did pass that medieval place.
Medieval times,
Quite
yeah.
Interesting. Jake Oettinger left practice yesterday with an illness. Like he's going to play tonight, but maybe you can kind of catch him off guard a little
Playoff-itis?
bit.
Well, so actually, Aaron and Pat threw together some interesting stuff on our friend Jake Oettinger tonight.
Friend?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe he'll be our friend
Enemy?
tonight. Well, wait till you see these numbers. His home and road splits are fascinating. Take a look. AB, flash him up. This is him so far in these playoffs. On home ice, a 296 and 879. On the road, a 1.18 and a 956. And that's even including the fact he faces almost 7 fewer shots per game when he's at home. His record is 3-4 at home. On the road, it is 5-1. He's been bad, or not bad. He's been below average.
Yeah.
Below average. Bad would be, well,
I guess we have to say that's good because those are very similar to Skinner's
exactly.
numbers.
On the road, very damn good. At home, Jake Oettinger has struggled. So again, you're getting a Jake Oettinger who hasn't played in a handful of games. Maybe there's some rust early. Jake Oettinger hasn't been good on home ice so far this season. And listen, Colorado's good, but they lost their leading point scorer, their leading goal scorer, I should say, halfway through that series. Their offense is not as good as Edmonton's. You could even look at Winnipeg, like decent, but nowhere near Edmonton's. What Dallas could go out and do against Colorado was stack up their best defensive players against the McKinnon-Rantanen line, and the rest of it they were good with. They never had to deal with the 1-2 punch of McDavid and Draisaitl. So that Oettinger, not good on home ice. Those are two key factors tonight.
Yeah. I was just thinking because there was that thing, wasn't it? Was it Colorado who was supposed to be the good road team, or was it Dallas? That's a really good road team.
Well, Dallas
in the regular season, it must have been Dallas was like the number one road team.
Oh, no, because
Colorado
McKinnon had like 900 game point streak.
That was right. Colorado was the number one home team, and Dallas was the number one road team.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
and actually that lines up. AB, give me Ottinger's regular season splits at home and on the road. I'm already losing my voice today. But this is a trend that continues back through the regular season. 905 at home, 918 on the road, 272 to a 209. So his home and road splits again, just really, really different. And he's struggled at home ice or on home ice so far this season, playoffs, regular season. So that's one opportunity. Again, it just goes to kind of line up again that this is a chance for the Oilers to come out and stun them a little bit early on here in this series.
Did I give my Vancouver, Colorado take on the radio, or
no? You did not.
Off.
Should I do that? You said it this morning at about 11:30 at the airport, or last night.
I think Vancouver are better than Colorado.
Explain your take.
Without Nikushkin.
Yes. Like what Dallas had to deal with in that series was basically a team that didn't have Nichushkin, of course. Jonathan Drouin missed time. Sean Walker didn't do anything in the playoffs, didn't get a point. And then when I think you look at that Vancouver team, I don't think the gap isn't ginormous by any means, but you know, I think Brock Besser was a big factor in that series. Obviously, Vancouver lost him as well. Quinn Hughes, like, not perfect by any means, but was still a really good defenseman in that series for them. I thought it was maybe a better test for the Oilers going into the Western Conference Finals than what Dallas maybe got. I think Dallas's best opponent was Vegas rather than Colorado.
Yeah, and they got through Vegas after the slow start, so you got to give them credit for that as well.
Yeah, took them 7 as well, so that was a good series.
Yeah, they played their games.
They have played their games indeed.
They have played games.
They've played hockey games to get to this point.
All right, Sherwood 4 Giant Game Day edition of the show. We're going to get to a Giant question a little bit later on, but a couple of comments I want to get to. Mainlander Tim, can we get a segment when Crawford provides her insider information, Jay? Anything?
So I can report, and I'll I can't because it involves other kids. I can't, but she's out in the field right now.
She's on the beat.
She's on the beat,
and she'll let us know if she uncovers anything.
On the beat.
Just a counter argument to what you said and our conversation about McDavid Draisaitl being the 1-2 punch. Is McKinnon, Rantanen, and McCarr not the equivalent of McDavid and Draisaitl 1-2 punch? And it's not, because Colorado plays those three guys on the ice at the same time pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
So you can go out there if you're Dallas and you like, say, Tanev as your shutdown guy. You staple Tanev there. You staple your shutdown line, which for a good chunk of the series featured Roope Hintz. And boom, there you go. you can shut down the one line and your depth can kind of win the rest of the battles. Having to stop 2 elite players who aren't on the ice at the same time all the time, that's where the challenge is going to come in here for Dallas, and it's going to be a challenge that they quite frankly haven't faced yet. Let's get into let's talk a little bit about the lineup. Actually, our lineup report is brought to you by Wendy's. Wendy's only ever uses fresh Canadian beef that's never seen the inside of a freezer in all their burgers. Whether you order a Baconator, Dave Single, or a JBC, you'll only ever find real fresh beef that's real juicy and loaded with fresh toppings. Download the Wendy's app, check out the latest deals, and order a burger that's only job is being delicious. The Oilers, okay, I keep seeing a bunch of people in the chat saying it's McLeod for Perry. It's McLeod for Perry. It's not McLeod for Perry.
It is nothing.
It's the same lineup for the Edmonton Oilers. It's exactly what they did in Game 7 against Vancouver. They are doing for Game 1 against Dallas, which means it's Nuge, McDavid, Hyman. It's Holloway, Draisaitl, and Kane, McLeod, Derek Ryan, and Warren Foegele. And the fourth line will be Sam Carrick with Connor Brown and Matthias Janmark. Jay, are you surprised that they didn't maybe go with a Corey Perry for Connor Brown, Corey Perry for Derek Ryan even kind of swap?
I know they love McLeod's speed, and
you're not taking out Ryan McLeod.
But dude, like you have to be very critical of him right now. He caused 2 goals in games 6 and 7 for just a lack of physicality on the one, when it was just, he just had to go and step into a guy that was right there, and that guy was Pettersson.
Pin him.
And then it's Pettersson both times. And then Pettersson was pressuring you with the puck, and you shit your pants. Like, what is, like, if you're scared of the guy who's the most scared of playoffs, then I don't think playoff hockey's for you. And he's been proving this time and time again. Like, a key for us this series is McLeod to figure out his fucking big boy game here and show up and play playoff hockey. Like, we need it. So maybe they're trying to hopefully get him to take that step, but some people aren't built with it. And he is building up a very strong case to suggest it's not in him.
No, I'm not going to go that far with it. I think before you take out a McLeod, Jay, you take out a Derek Ryan.
I'm just talking about the player right now. I'm not saying
he's made a couple of
you do not take out Derek Ryan. That guy will take a lick to make a play, and he makes the smart play and will not shit his pants under pressure. He won't. He
lost a key draw in Game 4.
Okay. He can't. His face-off percentage isn't 100%. Fair. Like, he's gonna lose a draw, and on that draw he put every fucking ounce of his being into it. Did he not?
Yeah.
So, like, he tried his ass off, where you don't get that from McLeod.
Before I take McLeod out, I try McLeod on the wing again. So if Henrique's ready to go on Saturday for Game 2. I have Henrique down the middle, McLeod on the wing. Derek Ryan comes out of the line.
No. DR needs to be. You know what you get with Derek Ryan, and it's safe.
I want upside.
There's no upside.
There is.
The upside isn't there.
Scored 15 goals this year or whatever it
fucking
was.
Regular season.
12. I know, but this is
and second half of the year was shit.
But this is the Janmark Holloway argument.
Janmark competes. Janmark takes a hit.
Exactly. People said, well, you can't play Holloway over Janmark in the lineup. You got to have Holloway lower in the lineup because Janmark's the safe play. He does the safe things. Sometimes you need upside. And guess what? You're the underdogs. You're the underdogs in this series.
Holloway has stepped up and become a playoff, joining the playoff beast conversation. And McLeod has taken a step back. It's not the same circumstance. Regular season, we can talk about all this fucking shit, because that's what we do in the regular season. Right now, this is about going to war. And some people run out of the trench and go to war, and some people stay in the trench, scared to go to war.
Okay, AB, can you
McLeod's in the trench.
Can you get us a YouTube poll of
trench warfare is horrific act of practice of war anyways, but anyways, you get my reference.
When Henrique's healthy, who do you take out? Give him 3 options. Say Carrick. Or give him 4. Carrick, Brown,
Can't take
McLeod. Kid, let me
take
let
Carrick.
me say the poll question, and we'll let the people decide. Jay,
Yeah.
who do you take
I'm gonna
out?
lead them all.
McLeod, Brown, Ryan, or Carrick? Those are your 4 options.
For Henrique, it is McLeod all day.
I actually think this is going to be a landslide in favor of Jay.
Yeah.
Oh, it is not.
You don't think so?
I think it's going to be a landslide against Jay.
So you think it'll be Derek Ryan?
Carrick was a very noticeable presence in Game 6 and 7, in which we won both.
Yeah, he was really good.
Didn't fuck anything up. Was physical.
Yeah, he was good.
Won some draws. He was there. He was noticeable. But McLeod, you notice him for his mistakes. Right now, that's what you notice. That's the only thing I see.
But to his credit, before games, like he made 2 bad plays in Game 6 and 7, and he sat the end of Game 7 for it, and I get that. Before that, he was playing mistake-free hockey.
I'd have to go and watch that. He was playing non-event hockey, which is just as bad.
McLeod's last point was April 10th.
I know. I've been critical of him.
I don't know. I don't think you're being critical enough.
But this is just like we had arguments about Holloway in the past, where it was like, what? There's no offensive upside. He scored 3 goals in 40 games.
Yeah, but that's a younger guy developing. Like McLeod's further in his journey, and now Holloway's taken the step. We're talking about what is happening in the playoffs right now. We're isolating it. That is the sample size. What is happening in the playoffs? Holloway, step ahead. McLeod, beep, 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 reverse back.
McLeod's almost played 50 playoff games.
Yeah.
Which is a crazy thing that he's not been able to find his footing and figure out what he needs to do on a nightly basis. I understand what you're saying.
I'm not saying McLeod's playing well. I'm just saying McLeod has a better chance of positively impacting the game than a Derek Ryan.
Nope. Because Derek Ryan's going to go to the tough area to get someone a puck. McLeod will not do that. Derek Ryan has more playoff upside than Ryan McLeod. Without a doubt.
What's the poll saying?
Actually, Connor Brown, but Ryan McLeod is there at 33%. Derek Ryan is 21%. I guess Brown is 40. People want Carrick in. 5%.
So then you take, Carrick has to stay in. Carrick 100% deserves to stay in. I'd take out Connor Brown before I take out those 2.
Connor Brown will muck.
No, he won't muck, Jay.
He'll go into the corners. That's what I'm saying. He'll go into the tough ice, which in playoffs, that's where games are won. McLeod won't even enter the fucking area.
The last 2, probably 3 games, I think you could argue the 4th line was either the best Oilers line or the second best line.
I mean,
yeah.
Compared to expectations, sure, yeah.
No, compared to what happened.
McDavid wasn't at his best in Game 7, so that line wasn't good. So sure,
I think it does come down to Brown.
But they were reliable.
Ryan.
They were reliable 4th line, and you need 4 lines.
And we talk about how, and I know McLeod's involved in this too, and I think Derek Ryan as well. But the penalty kill has been great with Brown and Yaremchuk in it as well, and that's been amazing. A great part of it, and that's what we're talking about could help the Oilers win this series against Dallas. So do you want to mess with that as well?
And that's the only consideration for Ryan McLeod because he's good in that space.
I think ultimately what they'll do is they'll take the safe option and they'll take Derek Ryan out. They'll try and put McLeod on the wing, and they'll put.
Then you have to take Connor. Then you have to take Connor Brown out. That's the only. It's
because you can put Henrique in the middle and these wingers.
But Derek Ryan needs to be.
But I think one thing
he's not that good. It's Derek bleeping Ryan.
I think what helps Ryan is actually coming out of the lineup from time to time.
You're making me think that you're making me sound like I think he's Connor McDavid. I'm just saying he is a playoff caliber hockey player. You can rely on him. He's gonna go and try and do the things that others like McLeod won't. And you need guys like that. Doesn't matter if you're old or slow. He's willing to go into the corner. He's willing to take a hit. He will make an important play at some point that will result into a Carrick goal or a Yaremchuk goal because of some smart cerebral pass he made or some look that he something that maybe we couldn't see but he sees. Like leave the doctor alone.
I do agree. I think I totally see what you're saying.
I love what we've seen from Derek Ryan too. Yeah, I'm not against
but you make it seem like he's the lever. He's not. He needs to be in our lineup. He needs to be there.
I think Knobloch has shown that he's not afraid to make decisions like take McLeod out.
Yeah, I
Took
agree.
Perry out, yeah.
The other question
the
we need to talk
goals.
about, and I will admit, he was more assertive in Game 6 and 7 as Fogle. Still non-event, but at least he's now competing.
Well, that shift at the end of Game 7, where he was doing everything to keep that puck in the end of the zone, like that's a great play.
Yes. So, like, okay, Fogle, like if you're just that helps so much. So he's off the shit list now.
He is. He's climbing up.
He's not a spoily boy?
Stinky boy.
A stinky boy.
It's not a stinky boy.
He was still the 6th stinkiest boy now. McLeod's still number 1. Oh, you want me to look?
Where'd the poll end at?
We're still at 40%
Brown?
in favor of Brown. McLeod is at 35. Ryan at 20. We should have just done McLeod and Ryan. That was the debate.
Toe to toe?
Yeah.
Do it.
Well, now we know already.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, not really, because you don't know where those Connor Brown votes are going to fall. They're splitting the vote.
Yeah, Brown split the vote. Yeah, make it that because this will.
So
No, I agree. Whatever. We got to.
Yeah, you're worried.
Brown's
You're worried. Yeah,
I'm
you're
not
worried.
scared at all.
Well, let's make it who's a better playoff performer.
Yes.
Well, no, because
McLeod?
it's been Derek Ryan so far.
Well, exactly.
But I want to bank on the upside of Ryan McLeod.
You cannot take.
I want to see him as a winger. I want to see him as a winger.
Risk.
I want to see him as a winger.
He plays like a winger when he's center, anyways.
No, he has to play down the middle of the ice, and he's
Yeah,
uncomfortable
but he
there.
doesn't play down the middle of the ice. He loves the perimeter.
I want to see. I would take Derek Ryan out, give Ryan McLeod one game at the wing, and reassess from there.
So that's the schedule loss then. That game.
It's not oh my God, Jay! Derek Ryan to Ryan McLeod doesn't lose or win you a hockey game. It's largely irrelevant.
It's all about the little things. It's all about the little things.
The votes are flying up. Who is a better playoff performer? 79% Derek Ryan.
Yeah, you again, because it's playoff performer, and I get it. Derek Ryan's been better.
The
in
body
these
of work
playoffs.
is. So why would you take a gamble?
Because I want that gamble on the upside. Same reason why I had to sit with Gregor and a bunch of other people on a bunch of podcasts, and they were like, you play Yaremchuk in the top 6 over Holloway. What's Dylan Holloway done to earn that? You need a safe guy. You need a guy who works hard, who's been there before. Blah, blah, blah. You got to take gamble on upside.
Do you not think those? I don't know.
When there's no signals that there's an upside.
I just think those situations are a little bit different.
Yeah,
but I see what you're saying. What else we got? What else is happening in this game? Anyone else playing?
Well, I'll tell you who's not playing to wrap up the lineup report for Wendy's. No Roope Hintz for Dallas. Confirmed Pete DeBoer. You heard it first on this show when Luke Gazdick said he won't be available for the start of the series. But no Roope Hintz, and that's a massive one. We talked with Brian Ray about this yesterday from Bally Sports, and he talked about how the Stars' depth was so good because that third line, Matt Duchene with Tyler Seguin on the wing and Mason Marchment, was such a dynamite third line that could score and play hard.
Jesus.
Oh, man, now I'd scratch McLeod even sooner.
Yeah.
But that third line was so damn good. And now you take out Roope Hintz and you have to move Matt Duchene up. Well, now you can't really trust that Pavelski-Hintz, or what was the Pavelski-Hintz-Robertson line. It's now, as you can see on your screen, the Robertson-Duchene-Pavelski line. Matt Duchene's not playing as good defensively as Roope Hintz. Now you can't really trust that line as much. Your top line, Johnson, Stankoven, Jamie Benn, they'll be fine. But now your third line is Tyler Seguin in the middle. Tyler Seguin's not as good down the middle as he is on the wing. You've elevated Evgeny Dadonov, and they're missing their kind of offensive heartbeat in Matt Duchene. So it's a really big bit of a domino effect here with the Roope Hintz injury. And it's something that early on in this series, the Oilers absolutely have to take advantage of it. And Rusty says it in here, Matt Duchene is allergic to defense. Like, if you're talking about just the matchup down the middle of the ice in this series, I'd give me Draisaitl versus Wyatt Johnston and give me Connor McDavid versus Matt Duchene, and the Oilers are winning that. It's more complicated, and Dallas defends as a 5-man unit and all of that stuff. But Roope Hintz, that leaves a massive black hole in the middle of their lineup.
I am curious to see how these line matches go, because going into the series against Vancouver, it was all about how, JT Miller was going to shut down McDavid.
Oh, JT Miller.
And before that, we knew obviously Danault and Kopitar were going to do what they do. Also, shout out to the LA Kings for bringing back Jonas Hiller. So the 1-3-1 lives on. Well, we can dream. We got half the dream. I didn't think we were going to get this far, to be honest. So that's really big. So yeah, I'm curious on that scale of things. I really do think it'll be Chris Tanev that is the X factor in this series defensively, which I'm sure Jay loves to hear.
I want everyone to shut up who is coming at me saying Calgary was never going to give him. Yes, they would have done it. They would have done it if we were willing to commit the price.
They offered more. They offered a first. Just had to get rid of CC.
Yeah, but they weren't going to take that on.
How much more were you going to offer up?
I don't know. Do you?
McLeod?
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually totally would have.
Yeah.
Do you know Mason Marchment played for Toronto? And was traded for Dennis Malgin, who now plays in Switzerland.
Whoops.
No kidding. So Toronto, what are you doing? Got rid of Hyman.
I know they have like these fantastic players.
They do a great job of that. Yeah.
Like cornerstone depth, gritty players just flow through the system and they just shoot them out into the ether.
And then they have to go and pay for guys like Domi and Bertuzzi.
Tyler Mulick's really mad at you guys. Malgin won in Switzerland. He also said
he what in Switzerland?
He won. I don't know.
Won what?
I don't know. Something. He said he won in Switzerland.
Well, Liam Reddick's had his number retired in whatever country he played in. So
JT Miller did shut down Connor McDavid. McDavid had 3 games where he went pointless.
Yeah,
who said that?
But also just the whole JT Miller thing.
How concerned are you about McDavid's health, sickness, illness, whatever we want to call it?
Yeah, it's concerning always. Like he's an X factor for us, right? And if he can't be, then that has a big impact. Liam?
Sorry, I was reading the chat. Yeah, I mean it's not good that he's not healthy, but I think the team is kind of a bit banged up on that side of things, aren't they? Like we saw the video of Ekholm not taking the hug from Fogle when he was giving him the plunger, I think it was. So it's clearly something going around the room. But
I told you,
it is.
Insider Crawford,
she knew.
Doing the work.
Yep.
Ekholm was sick. And that means others were sick, and he didn't want to share the sickness. It spread far enough.
He was not down with the sickness. That is for sure.
All right, moving along on the show. That was your lineup report brought to you by Wendy's. That turned into a lot more than just a lineup report. It was a spicy debate, like their spicy chicken sandwich. Let's talk about
haven't had lunch yet.
I know, I'm so hungry. Let's talk about some game notes for our friends at Douglas Mattress. Order today at douglas.ca/Oilersnation. They're handcrafted in Canada, ensuring the highest quality materials and fastest delivery to you, supporting a locally owned and operated Edmonton company. And right now, every mattress order comes with a free Comfort Sleep bundle. With that, you get 2 memory foam pillows with pillow protectors, 1 luxurious cotton sheet set, and 1 mattress protector free with any order. One adjustment, like we talked a lot about things Chris Knobloch did in round 1, splitting Connor and Leon up kind of at the right time, going from Skinner to Pickard perfectly, going from Pickard back to Skinner worked out perfectly. Another thing he did really, really well was the blue line in that series and going away from the Nurse and CC pairing and going with Kulak and CC, then Nurse and Desharnais. Gregor's game notes, he outlined some of the numbers from when they made that switch. And man, Cody CC and Darnell Nurse, before they made the switch in 60 minutes, Nurse was outscored 6-1, CC was outscored 5-1. After they made the change with CC and Kulak on the ice, it was 2-0 with CC on the ice, 3-0 with Kulak on the ice. It's crazy how well that decision worked.
It was 2 goals in favor of the Oilers.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And I mean, we had Schmid on, right? And he said, he's like, I wouldn't do anything to the blue line when we talk about.
Yeah.
And he said he thinks CC was playing okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Game 7, Cody CC.
When you think about it, like, besides his errors weren't as like, holy smokes, what are you doing? And maybe sometimes you're like so focused in on what he's doing. Like that one play he made with Ian Cole where the puck was in the air and he didn't touch it was just ridiculous. That was so stupid, but like, it didn't cost you anything. So he's not making those errors right now that are going in the back of the net like he did in game 1. Hopefully that continues tonight. Tyler, if you don't mind knocking on wood for me over there. Thank you. But I think Kulak has been great as well. I know he's read his numbers there, but overall, like, he's probably been the Oilers' 3rd best defenseman this entire playoffs.
I think so. And another thing that it did is it really evened up the gap in minutes between everybody. And part of it, I think, came because of the Ekholm sickness, illness, whatever you want to call it. But through those first 4 games, the high mark was Bouchard at 84 minutes. The low mark was Vinny at 53. In the last couple games of the series, once they made the change, the high mark was Bouch at 51. The low mark was Ekholm at 39-58, so basically 40 minutes. So that gap shrunk between the most played and the least played defenseman. Again, power plays obviously playing a role in that. I think Ekholm had his PK minutes taken back a little bit because of whatever he was fighting through. Ekholm being back at 100%, which he was early in the series, and he was shooting the damn lights out. 3 goals in the 3 games. He was not later on. We saw him peel back the minutes. We talked about McDavid needing to get healthy and be effective and be an X factor. Ekholm's in a similar boat.
Yep.
Yeah, hopefully these couple of days have helped him. I would imagine tonight those minutes increase quite significantly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he'll be he won't be able to match Bouchar's power play, but he'll be probably second on the team.
Yeah. Colton says Kulak does this every year. He really does. His best hockey always comes in the playoffs.
It does. Like when Frank was putting out his lists around the trade deadline and Kulak was on there, I just kept thinking, why would you want to get rid of that guy? And now there's a conversation about the Broberg, like what do you do with him and everything. But like, should that be at the expense of what Kulak can do for you? Because he is consistent all year. Like you don't really ever hear about the guy. So do you know, I was thinking about this the other day. There's some guys on the team who I don't know what they sound like. Because they're just like
if I played you a recording of their voice, you wouldn't know who.
I don't know if Cody Cece's definitely one. Kulak. Those might be the only 2.
Connor Brown, I couldn't tell you what he sounds like.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah, and Mark Ewa just because of his
accent.
Yeah, accent. But like, I don't know what he sounds like.
Yeah, Yaremchuk doesn't do a lot of media.
This
one from Gregor, I'll read it. Quote, earlier, Nathan McKinnon played 131 minutes at 5-on-5 against the Stars. He faced Esa Lindell 57% of the time, Chris Tanev 52% of the time. Gregor says he expects the same for Connor McDavid, and he adds the Stars didn't have to worry about a second line in Vegas or Colorado that has a Leon Draisaitl on it. And he wondered if that affects their strategy at all. I actually think we're going to see Lindell and Tanev get a lot more Draisaitl. I think they're going to want to. I think they're going to want to negate the speed of McDavid by playing Harley and Heiskanen against them. Those 2 guys can move so well.
And Heiskanen's got, and this is from my Finnish friends. He holds Connor in very high regard, and like aspires to be the Connor of the back end with speed and all that. So I think you would probably want that matchup.
That's interesting.
Like he always likes to
he
size
wants that
up.
challenge.
He wants that challenge. And he's Jason's good and he's fast.
Yeah. The other thing too, like with Dallas having this spread out depth, like they do, like the Wyatt Johnson line's been their best line, but is that truly their top line? I mean, Jason Roberts and Joe Pavelski are pretty damn good. I wonder if Edmonton won't be picky with the matchups is kind of what I'm getting at on their blue line. Like, I don't think you're all that worried about the different ways it could shake down.
What's their first line again?
Stankoven, Jamie Benn, and Wyatt Johnston.
Is that the line you put Nurse and Vinny up against for the physicality?
Yeah, maybe to try it. Because, like, again, Jamie Benn, man, I'm worried about the speed of Johnston there, though. But
Nurse can skate.
Yeah, Nurse can move. You're right.
Yeah, he's fast.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe you do. Yeah.
Maybe do that. And then the second line was what? Robertson, Pavelski, and
Duchesne now, yeah.
So you put Ekholm and Bouch up against if you can. Like, I don't think it's going to be that hard matching, but
no.
Maybe that's what they try and go to more often.
Yeah, and that's kind of my point is I don't think we're going to see a ton of hard matching early on in this series from the Oilers. So there you go. Those are your game notes for Douglas Mattress. You can read all of Jason Gregor's game notes every single game day at Oilersnation.com. We haven't picked a spot where we're going to go pregame for the game tonight, have we?
Oh, I was looking at a map.
Something close to the arena?
Yeah. No, it's called something.
This city is strange.
What? You have very limited exposure to it.
I know, but like, I felt like it's very different from what LA and Vancouver were.
It doesn't have the same big city feel.
Yeah, which is strange because the saying is everything's bigger in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are.
Did you not fly in? It's a concrete jungle.
I didn't have a window seat. Yeah, I was sleeping.
I'm thinking maybe Chop Shop in Victory Park, which is kind of like
arena.
Yeah, well, that's the arena. It's kind of like the walk up.
Chop Shop in Victory Park.
Chop Shop in Victory Park.
It's decent.
Latest review. Had a snack there. Had a snack here before a Stars game. The service was quick. and the food was tasty. We were about 2 hours early for the game, so I'm not going to log into Yelp, but that's from Bad Luck B, 4-star rating from last year.
All right.
Louis G said,
great place to watch the Mavs game. Cheese fries were delicious. Ooh, and I can go for one of these, especially because it's so hot. My Moscow Mule was made to perfection.
I believe it's just called
Service was
the
great.
Mule now.
Yeah.
The Ukrainian Mule
Well,
was
no,
amazing.
I don't think you do that either.
Why not?
I think you just take the Moscow part out of it and leave it.
The Texas Mule?
Yeah, there you go.
Texas Longhorn. Well, I'm surprised they haven't made about themselves. I'm also very excited. I've been to Dallas a few times. I'm excited for you to try a Shiner's Bock beer.
Shiner's Bock?
Shiner's Bock beer.
Aaron's just zooming in on Google Maps live for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron.
See what you can find.
Yeah, what kind
Well,
of
there's
bars are we looking at
that.
here?
There's Hero that's an option, but they got like gelato, but so that's not it.
All right.
Louis
We can
G put Dallas is the craziest airport I've ever been in.
It's massive.
Well, I would
Doesn't
argue
matter.
Atlanta is crazy.
Well, we have very limited different experiences. We were connecting.
Well, Atlanta
Atlanta.
was friendly to us, kinda, and then
Ugh.
Dallas just decided to erupt our bags.
the baggage
Maybe,
in Dallas is a
Yeah, I think we'll save those stories maybe for real life. We got to save something for real life. New episode of Real Life dropping later. Anyways, we're trying to figure out where we're pre-gaming. If you are in Edmonton, there's only one spot you're going pre, post, or during the game, and it is Greta. It is the conference finals, and it is time. Pressure's ramped up a bit. So you know what we're doing with Greta? We're ramping up our game days at Greta. How about this? When you show up at our Greta game days, also, it is free to get in. You could be winning Greta gift cards, free game cards, exclusive Greta merch, and how about this? You might even get your tab covered.
Whoa.
We're going to be getting rid of some tabs during the night. So if you head down to Greta, not only are you going to be getting a great spot to watch the game with great food, great drink, and a ton of fun games, but there is a chance if you go for one of these away games, we could be taking your bill and ripping it up at the end of the night, and your whole night's free. Not bad. Also, a bunch of other fun giveaways, nation gear, all that kind of stuff happening at Greta every single game day in these playoffs. Chili Egg, are you guys going to let us know where you're pre-gaming for those of us in town? Or do you mean Dallas? Because I think we've established we can't figure it out.
Chop Shop.
We are doing Chop Shop. Chop Shop in Dallas by the arena.
It's very safe. I'm assuming it's going to be busy and full of Stars fans, but F it, we're going.
F it, we ball.
The Vancouver Canucks are doing their media availability right now.
Who cares?
Okay. Well, actually, Liam, that does kind of tie in a little bit. I wanted to take a quick little 2-minute break from the playoff talk and get to a outside or around the league report brought to you by Boston Pizza, because, we are the only Canadian team left standing.
Yes.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
BPs, we want the crown. Send us our crowns.
We want the love, Boston Pizza. Absolutely. If there was a BP's down by the arena, that's where we would be
Oh.
pre-gaming tonight.
Because the
Absolutely.
draft beer at a BP is so cold and it is so hot outside. I would love one.
Okay, Liam, you want to start with Vancouver? Then there's a couple other things I want to get to.
So apparently Elias Pettersson was playing with a knee injury since January.
I'm calling bullshit on this.
Why do players do that? And all he said was he needed some time to heal. He doesn't require surgery. Then take a week off, man.
And they're running away with the regular season.
That's what I'm calling bullshit on.
Yeah, that is poppycock, as we like to say.
Quinn Hughes said he wasn't hurt, which is probably not a good look for him. He probably should have made something up.
Yeah, it should
Probably should have followed Elias Pettersson's lead and made something up.
Yeah. Just not go as far as Pettersson did.
Nothing else too major. Casey DeSmith had a groin injury in Game 3 against the Preds, and he could have played, but they didn't want to push him. And the Sea Loves obviously did what he did. And Brock Besser was requesting to play Game 7, and they wouldn't let him for obvious reasons.
Yeah, so they said he blocked a shot, right?
Yes.
He blocked a shot, and that's
one.
what led to eventual clotting in his leg.
Oh, that's what happened to me when we had a teachers versus students flag football game.
Wow.
And Mr. Lynch, the science teacher, absolutely destroyed me, and I had a massive trauma on my leg. That was
I thought you were going to tell us about your vein problem.
Well, it's
from
connected.
It is
it's connected.
All these years later.
Oh, it's all
No
connected,
shit,
man.
eh?
I'm surprised. Yeah, it could have been bad.
Elsewhere around the league, the coaching carousel continues to spin around. What surprised you more, LA re-upping Jim Hiller or removing the interim tag from Jim Hiller, or Sheldon Keefe going to New Jersey.
Oh, Hiller.
Really?
I could not believe they did that. They were so bad against the Oilers. And they just decided to go back to it after
He must have agreed he's changing the system.
he must have. But like, isn't it strange that he went in there and just kept the system?
Like he's probably not going to
Do
make
well.
it through year one.
They
I-
might not. I'm going to say the Kings won't make the playoffs next year.
Ooh, spicy. Especially if they run back the same goalies. I could see that. What I was gonna say was, and I talked with Colby about this on DFO Live yesterday. I don't think they bring back Jim Hiller unless the players gave like a good review of him, and if Hiller was like, I'm changing things up next year. That's my prediction. Anyways.
Yeah, that's probably like they do have good players. Like I like Fiala, Kempe's obviously good. Dowdy and Kopitar showed that they still have it in that series, but like I don't know. I could see a team like Seattle bouncing back more. Than...
Oh, I have zero faith in Seattle bouncing back next year. I think they stink.
I think the Kings stink.
Well, there you go.
Boys.
I wanted to talk about this, but for some reason we kind of glossed over it over the last few shows, Liam. What are the Tampa Bay Lightning doing?
Oh yeah, apparently not trying to re-sign Steven Stamkos.
So they go out and acquire Ryan McDonough. They now have $5 million.
They got him back?
Yeah, they got McDonough back at his full cap hit. So they now have $5 million in cap space to sign Steven Stamkos. So who do they end up trading is kind of the big question. Colby said he thinks they should be trading Anthony Cirelli.
That's what I said. You said no way, Jose.
I think that's crazy. I think trading 26-year-old Anthony Cirelli, who's on a decent deal at $6.5 million, good defensive centerman, trading him so you could bring back late 30s Ryan McDonough for 2 more years is crazy.
Such a weird move.
So weird.
What did they get? Like how
they traded a round pick.
They traded a 2nd and a 7th for McDonough and a 4th.
On the Oilers' 4th.
Yeah, it is the Oilers' 4th.
trade. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense at all. Like you look through the deals and
Cirelli is the only one.
They didn't need. Yeah, he is. Unless they wanted to do Hague. They have the same years.
They won't trade Hagel.
Oh yeah, Hagel.
Oh, love Hagel.
Nick Paul maybe, but he has a full no trade.
Yeah,
they love
Cirelli's the only. Like they're clearly trading Cirelli, which is insane.
It just doesn't make a lot of sense because, yes, I think their blue line needed to get better, but did you need to bring him back at that price?
At that price, at his age. So Colby's point was the Lightning are doing everything they can to keep their window open. But it feels like
closing it.
I know, but it feels like they're trying to keep their window open for Hedman and Stamkos when what they should be trying to do is keep their window open for the next 10 years because Cirelli's 26, Point's 28, Kucherov's only 30. He's going to be good for 8 or 9 more years. He'll be one of those guys who can play deep into his career. Nick Paul's still relatively young. I think I said Hagel. Sergachev's still really young. Chernak still has a lot of good years. Like, why you're trying to keep this window open for Stamkos and Hedman, you should be trying to. You could have legitimately avoided a rebuild, I think, if you would have played your cards right. And now I think that's gone.
They've really changed their philosophy on things.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were obviously like different stages, but like they were the draft and develop team.
Yeah.
They would get guys like Point, Cirelli. There was one other guy as well that was really Palat.
Yeah.
In there. And now it's just like we're gonna try and trade for guys because they did it with Coleman and Gaudreau, but like it's not worked that well since. Like Hagel was good, of course, but like Nick Paul was like, yeah, he's good.
The Tanner Jeannot deal
brutal.
sucked.
And now there's this Ryan McDonough, and it's like, what are you doing?
They're scrambling.
Yeah, they are scrambling.
All right, last thing I wanted to touch on, bringing it back to the Stanley Cup playoff chatter. Gregor had this earlier today. The Oilers haven't won the Stanley Cup in 34 years. Florida didn't enter the league until 93-94, and that was the same year the New York Rangers won the Stanley Cup, so that would be 30 years ago. Neither has won it in 30 years since. Dallas last won it 25 years ago in 1999. And here's another thing. All 4 of these teams have lost in a cup final since then. We obviously know Edmonton. We know the Rangers lost to the LA Kings that year. Dallas lost in 2020 to the Tampa Bay Lightning in the weird, that was bubble year. Yeah, that was bubble year. And obviously Florida lost last season. So a bunch of really interesting storylines with all 4 of these. They're all trying to end somewhat lengthy Stanley Cup droughts. In Florida's case, they could be the first team to lose in back-to-back finals since the 77-78 Boston Bruins.
Who'd they lose to?
Montreal both times. Scotty Bowman versus
the
Don
Buffalo
Cherry.
Bills of hockey.
Nope. That was rude.
accurate though, unfortunately for you.
Also, you're a Cleveland Browns fan, and you're a Detroit Lions fan. Neither of you are in a spot.
I'll tell you, if the Browns get to the Super Bowl, they win it.
Okay.
I tell you that much.
Rangers lose 3-0 though in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final. Sergei Bobrovsky, 3-0 shutout.
Bobrovsky.
Nice finish by Laferriere. Is that how you say his name?
Lafreniere.
Sorry, I got used to the other guy.
Yeah, the guy in LA. I felt bad for Alexis Lafreniere. That was a tough bounce.
Good redirect, if you ask
Yeah,
me.
great redirect. Yeah. What do you guys make? What was your pick in that series?
I did pick the Rangers.
Oh, I was from Florida all day.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I had Rangers. In 7.
Florida's mean.
they are mean. They're a tough.
Like, they're a tough. They're a fight. They are a fight, and Ryan McLeod in a series against them will be non-existent.
Ryan McLeod versus Sam Bennett. That would not be good. You might need Derek Ryan for old man's.
Oh yeah, Derek Ryan. He's the guy who
Derek Ryan will happily get blown up by Sam Bennett.
Oh
He
yeah.
will. Yeah.
Okay, let's get back into this Western Conference Final. Let's do our Betway Game Day betting challenge. It's been a while, I feel like, since we've done one of these. With Betway, you can get a $200 free bet if your first bet loses. Simply place a wager with no minimum amount required, and if that bet loses, you'll get a refund up to $200. You can then use that money to keep betting on your favorite sport. This offer is only available outside of Ontario. How do you do it? Simply create a new account by scanning the QR code on your screen and opt in to the wager. Gentlemen, Betway Game Day betting challenge. Who's coming off dubs?
Us.
I know. I keep trying to get greedy and mix in little props and stuff like that. You're just straight up. You guys just keep going with the straight up money line.
Well, I went money line today. You went regulation, right?
Well, I was doing it. I was initially due to be different, but no,
You're gonna go
I'm
back?
going money line.
So you-
change the
This is wrong.
I will change it.
It's money
Sorry.
line.
Yes.
You guys are both going money line plus 110. I'm with you. I think they win tonight. I like the plus 110 price tag on that. I am in. Part of me kind of wants to climb the ladder, go money line, regulation, puck line. Just doot.
Yeah. So I think I might treat regulation as my puck line today.
So you bet in regulation?
No.
Sorry, puck line.
As my I'm going to
Gotcha.
sprinkle instead of
Plus
doing puck.
170.
Like it's going to be a good game. So I think it's a one-goal game.
How do you think it'll be? Like, what do you think it's going to be high scoring? Do you think it'll be tight?
I think
Bit of
I think
both?
they win like 3-2 or 3-2, 4-2 tonight.
Yeah, I think like we sit here and say that they don't have as good an offense, but I think we have to play the same defensive style as we did against Vancouver in game 6 and 7. So and they've got really good defense, and despite his home versus away record, they have a good goalie. So this to me, like, this is like a 2-1, 3-2 type game.
Newfie Snipers just said, just to throw fuel on the fire, Oilers money line and McLeod goal.
Oh, also
Plus 5,000.
my bet was money line and Bouche point, which comes in at plus 170, same as regulation. So I actually kind of like that as like a little middle of the ground, still getting juicy.
Then you don't have to get in the weeds.
Yeah, you don't get too far in the weeds
Because you don't know who's going to score.
yeah, it's tough.
You don't know who's going to score.
So there you go. That's our Betway Game Day betting challenge. Oilers underdogs for the first time in these playoffs.
Finally.
Yeah.
They were rarely ever underdogs during the regular season as well.
Very rarely.
Very, very rarely, yeah.
Do you have the stats for it?
I'm gonna try find them here real fast.
Okay, sounds good. Big game for Stu tonight. The boys need,
Skinner versus
Need
Otter,
to
yeah.
show that you need to show that confidence back in himself.
Yeah.
He was good game 1 until the third period against Vancouver. Made a big stop on Garland on the breakaway, stopped Joshua point blank, and then it just all fell apart.
Oilers were only underdogs 8 times this entire season out of 82 regular season games. They went 3-5 when they were underdogs. Dallas, as favorites, went 53, 26, and 8. Dallas only covered 15 of 40, or have only covered 15 of 48 puck lines so far in the regular season and the playoffs when they're at home. So, maybe a decent spot there. All right, let's wrap up with our keys to victory. It's brought to you by not just Sherwood Ford the Giant, because it's a Sherwood Ford Giant game day, but also Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. They got service for all makes and models of power sports and marine. Bring Sherwood Power Sports and Marine your service troubles, whether it's an inspection, a test run, some trailer TLC, or just a fresh oil change. It's adventure time and they've got you covered for all makes and models of boats, motorcycles, and ATVs, so you'll be ready for the season. Check them out now. Sherwood Power Sports and Marine, right in the heart of Sherwood Park. I like this one from Mulick. I'm stealing it. Pucks to the net. Get into the mixer. I love it. You need to put pucks on Oettinger, and you need to go get rebounds. You need to get in his head. You need to take away his vision. You need to do all that kind of classic cliche jamming away, playoff hockey kind of stuff. Go to the net hard. Throw pucks towards the net. Get a lucky one. Get one off someone's ass. Steal game one.
I'm going to say defensive structure for me. I think if the Oilers can do what they did in those final 2 games against Vancouver, they should come out with a win tonight.
So get in the mixer, pucks on net.
Yeah.
Defensive structure.
Which can be combined.
I agree with both because mine was going to be yours, and I like yours / the 2 Tylers.
Yeah, 2 Tylers.
Tyler
We're teaming up. Tyler squared.
Tyler and Tyler, detective agency.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Ryan McLeod playing like a fucking man.
All right.
He does that.
That's the key to victory.
It's
on him, baby.
You've ticked 2, but you've already ticked the 2 most important boxes.
That's fair.
So now I want to see the upside. Show me your playoff upside, McLeod, because that will provide an impact.
Calvin Pickett,
I am very doubtful that he can do it. But if he does, if he shows up and he is, it's when I say a physical presence, I don't want him like going and blowing up guys, but like if there's a hit to make, you finish your check, you make the hit, you go into the dirty areas and get rewarded by either getting a puck loose to a teammate that might result in a goal or a shot that you go charge the net after and clean up a rebound. Like, get mucky.
You could argue if Ryan McLeod didn't make mistakes in game 6 and 7, Stu might have had back-to-back shutouts.
I just wish I could go into Corey Perry's chest, pull out his fucking heart, and plug it right into Ryan McLeod.
You want to make a bet on Ryan McLeod scoring tonight? Beer bet?
Yeah.
But you got to give me 3-1.
Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. For the guy. But his upside.
Amrit is in. He must have missed the beginning of the show. What's the Oilers lineup looking like? The exact same as Game 7 against Vancouver. Matthew says, haha, Jay, love it. Calvin Pickard, Jay is so enthusiastic about this. Aiden Platts, he scored in the Western Conference Final 2 years ago. McLeod did.
I was the last
in a nothing game. Was that in game 4? Or was game 3?
Do you know who else scored in that game?
Zach Kassian.
Zach Kassian. So there you go.
Yeah.
And he shot it. He was uncontested and shot it from distance.
He should do that more.
He's not even doing that.
No, he's not. Tyler Mulick said, clean neutral zone is actually where this series is won. Rusty says, clean breakouts. If you can break out of your zone clean, the speed of the forwards can kill the Stars. Swanee, Dallas leads the playoffs in giveaways. Oilers need to capitalize on that. Capitalize on your opportunities on the giveaways. Special teams battle. Special teams battle. Huge.
Oh, it's massive.
Special teams battle.
Yep. That is going to be big.
The Oilers power play needs to be hot.
That's how the series is won for the Oilers. If they win special teams, they'll win a series.
If they can go like 2 for 4 on the power play every single game, yeah, I like their chances.
That'll tick a couple of boxes.
Yeah, that'll help. That will help. Tyler Mulick said, Tyler, that's my line. Special teams battle. Matthew says, Tyler, I'll take those odds at 3-1 odds. We're always on the same page. Calvin Pickard, half decent goaltending is going to be huge, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Calvin Pickard also says, I miss Boardsy. Well, how about this? You can go see Aaron down at Greta tonight, downtown Edmonton, post, during the game. Oilers Nation will be there. Pregame with Boardsy live from Greta tonight. 6:30 Mountain Puck Drop. Pregame with Boardsy starts at 5:30. So make sure you tune in here on the YouTube or head on down to Greta, where there's a chance we cover your tab tonight amongst other giveaways. Going to be a great, great night in downtown Edmonton on a Thursday. Like I always say, if you're going to be hungover, do it on company time. Go hard on a Thursday.
There's a quote from Nikita Zadorov.
Okay.
I'd like to read it.
Do it.
Okay.
So Nikita Zadorov explaining how great Canucks fans are adds Calgary isn't even the biggest team in Alberta when talking about the two fan bases, while Connor Garland shakes his head at the end of the table. So is that a shot at Calgary?
Yeah, that's a shot at Calgary.
Well, thanks, Nikita.
We're going to be dropping a new episode of Real Life in a couple of hours. That's where you hear from our boy Baggedmilk. We'll give you some travel stories as well from our late night, early morning journey down to Dallas.
Yawning.
And then tomorrow at noon Mountain Time, right back here, Oilers Nation Everyday, breaking down Game 1. Saturday, special Saturday edition of ON Everyday at noon Mountain, getting set for what will be Game 2. So a lot going on the next couple of days here at Oilers Nation because it is the Western Conference Finals. That's a wrap on today's Sherwood Ford Giant Game Day edition of the show. Enjoy the hockey game tonight. Enjoy pre-gaming with Boardsy, and we'll be back with you tomorrow at noon.
Slay the Double Dragon.
Thank you for watching Oilers Nation Every Day. Hit the subscribe button to never miss a show. And for more, visit OilersNation.com.